Patrick!
Hey, I'm sorry, but I'm glad and happy to be here.
Good. What are you doing outside?
I'm actually still working, although it's a pandemic. I'm trying to go live as much as possible here in New York. You do that too as well. And I actually promised my following to show a little bit of snow in Central Park.
Okay.
So
You're
yeah,
not in Central
after
Park
our
right now.
call, excuse me.
You're not in Central Park right now.
No. I'm actually, yeah, in Long Island City, Queens. That's a place where I live already for 12 years, and yeah, I'm just outside to show you a little bit of snow.
So did you accidentally double book your schedule today?
Kind of.
That's the
It's
tip.
I think it's a little bit the fault of the pandemic. Before, I was always every morning behind my computer looking at my agenda. But now looking at my agenda is kind of like frustrating and gives me a lot of anxiety
Yeah.
because, yeah, looking at my agenda means looking at all the cancellations we have. So, yeah, it's not a habit anymore.
And I feel your pain. Like I was sending out to my followers, inviting them to this little session today, and I was saying, Patrick, he's the one I want to be when I grow up. Not saying that you're much older than me, but just what you've established as the Belgian tour guide in New York is amazing. And I'm sorry, your followers are waiting for you. I wanted to touch base on you with, because you and your wife wrote this book. I guess I don't know if you can see it.
See New York, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk to you about, traveling with family in New York, because I have, like, Marcus is in the book. Place it here. Marcus is in the book. My son, and now I have, a baby daughter as well. But I was gone. I lived in Vegas for 2 years, and now I came back to New York in the middle of the pandemic. And while I do have an idea of things to do in the city with, family and your children, I figured because you have two as well, and you've been
Yes,
here for 12 years in New York,
12
15.
years.
Yeah. So, I wanted to ask you, what do you suggest tourists that come to New York? What should they do? Is First of all, is New York City a family friendly destination?
Hmm. I mean, this is actually my third book, and what I wanted to show with this book was actually the fact that New York is for everyone. I always say New York, whatever your background is, if you like fashion, you have the best fashion stores here in the city. If you like art, you have like the best museums in New York. If you like history, I mean, if you're like a foodie, and I know that you are, just like me, you have like amazing restaurants. But with my third book, I actually wanted to show as well that New York is for every age group, for little kids, for older kids, for grown-ups. And when you travel with kids, it make you look at things a little bit different, and it make also probably slow down a little bit because you are, yeah, watching your kids and see what they see,
Yeah.
and going into their world. And that's the reason why we wrote the third book together with my wife, because we did a little bit of research, and there are not that many family friendly guidebooks for families available.
That's
So I was very happy to make that. I was very happy that we could interview you as my alter ego in Denmark. Yeah, your little boy is the cutest little handsome boy. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
we're happy that he was part of the book.
Very, very much so. I wanted to ask you, because that's a question I get often. What about when you travel? Like, would you, if it was you, Patrick, where would you stay? Like, where would you live if you were traveling with smaller children? We're talking children 10 years and younger. Where in the city would you stay if you're coming in from Europe, based on what you know?
That's a tough one. Everything is depending, of course, also about your budget.
Yeah.
Like if budget is not a like an issue, I mean, go stay in the Waldorf Astoria, or no, Waldorf Astoria is not possible. I was thinking about the hotel near Central Park where they filmed Home Alone. You're gonna have to help me out here.
The Plaza
Um,
Hotel.
the Plaza Hotel, it's amazing, and especially for kids, and especially during the winter. But otherwise, if you're looking for something budget friendly, I mean, never hesitate to look outside Manhattan. And then I think Long Island City, Queens, where I live, for example, is a very nice place. Even in Brooklyn, if you go a little bit further in Brooklyn, I mean, there are many possibilities and many opportunities. Long Island City, the biggest advantage, it's also the place what we choose to, live with our kids, is there are many playgrounds. So that's a big plus. And the cool thing about the playgrounds is that they all have a view of the skyline of Manhattan. So as a family, you can watch your kids, but at the same time, you can enjoy a little bit the backdrop, as a backdrop, the skyline of Manhattan.
Yes. Talking about playgrounds, I know you went to Domino's playground in Brooklyn. I have yet to be there. I have yet to go visit.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Would you say that that's the Domino is a must for tourists, or would there be another playground that you just would recommend all the tourists to go to with family?
I mean, there is many really cool playgrounds. What I like about Dono Park is it's one of the newer playgrounds. So the toys and I mean all the attractions are brand new because it's only opened like 2 years ago. And it's the same thing as in Long Island City, Queens. The backdrop is amazing because you're right under the Williamsburg Bridge. So it's beautiful, and all the shopping around in Williamsburg is cool as well. And there's a couple of very good ice cream stores that the kids will love. There's one of my favorite one is a 3-2-1. They actually make ice cream in front of you with nitrogen. And they also have like these nitrogen cheese balls. Kids love it. I mean, you eat it and the smoke is coming out of your ears, your your nose, your mouth. And it's a cool attraction, and it's very Instagrammable. So
I was gonna say
you can make a big hit on Instagram with it.
I think a lot of families they think about also where they can get those wonderful photos of their children, right? Because nowadays most of us we're thinking about what we can send home in regards to our social media, right? So to be able to have some fun videos and photos, that's really awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me also ask you, that's a question that I get personally is, how many days, and again, it depends on your budget and whatnot, but what would you say is the minimum amount of days for first time visitors to New York to spend in New York?
As much as your budget allows you. um, I mean, you and I, we both live here. I mean, I think together more than 20 years, and we didn't see everything yet. I mean, you can spend weeks, months. I mean, still up to date. I mean, I wrote 3 books. I live here for 12 years. I wrote, I'm sorry. I wrote 3 books. I lived here for more than 12 years, and I still on a daily basis, I discover new things. So, I mean, don't come for just a weekend. I think that's a little bit exaggerated unless you're celebrating your midlife crisis and you just want to party hard for 48 hours. Go ahead. But otherwise, as long as your budget allows you.
That's exactly. I usually say, please don't spend less than 5 days. 7 days is good. 10 is perfect. If you have the ability, 14 days, and then you're kind of like not. Then you need a break after 14 days because as visitors, of course, you're like you have a program. Us who live here, we able to take a breather in our own apartment. Talking about apartments, one of the things I also recommend is Airbnbs when you're traveling with families because many hotels are very small. So if you have maybe 2 children, it can be tough. But what you mentioned was with Long Island City, and I know that is some of the hotels there, they're actually a little bigger. And one hotel I recommend, I don't know if you've been there or if you've seen it, is Home2 Suites. Home2 Suites in Hilton. It's right off the of Queens Plaza.
Okay.
Like a stone's throw to the subway. And and they have like a little kitchen area, like with microwave and oven and dishwasher and big refrigerator, and a little sofa area. And the prices back pre-pandemic, they were still comparable to Manhattan, very affordable. So that's usually a little trick I tell families. But other than that, Airbnbs, right? Because hotels can be
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Airbnb, but there we agreed. I mean, we don't agree, we disagree. Airbnb for me, I find it a little bit tricky. It's especially also during the pandemic.
yeah.
You have to rely on the hygiene of the people. Okay, there are like reviews and stuff like that, but I prefer that a professional is before I arrive, cleaned the room and made everything nice and clean. I heard also so many horror stories with Airbnb that I say like I'm a little bit skeptical. But hey, if you like it and if you have good experience with it, I mean, why not? But me personally, I'm a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, for me, I've had, but that's when I've been traveling alone, and my standards are less when I'm traveling alone. But with children, I have yet to stay in Airbnb with the kids. I would prefer, and I drove cross country from Las Vegas to New York back in October, and all I stayed at was Hilton properties because I was not going, like exactly what you're saying with the pandemic now and the cleanliness, the standards. I just wanted to make sure that they had that sticker on the door that I knew professionals had cleaned the room. So I understand that. Um, I know you have to have
It's
an,
fine. I mean, I still have a couple of minutes. Don't
okay.
worry.
Um, I wanted to ask you because I think the people in Denmark might be interested to know what about school right now. So this is a little bit on the personal level. I know Marie, she's 6 years old.
Yeah, she's almost 6. I mean, I mean, we're originally from Belgium. In Belgium, the schools are open. Here in New York, and I don't know with your kids, it's a little bit different. They have part-time school, so that means that 3 days a week she can go to school, and then the other days she yeah is
Virtual.
becoming a professional in Zoom. I had a little bit of struggle to get connected with you just like 5 minutes ago. I think my daughter is even getting better than me because on a daily basis she's doing the Zoom
Yeah.
homeschool lessons, and she enjoys it. That's the weird part. She really, really enjoys it.
And I think it's very interesting. My daughter, she's in daycare, and the daycare lady, her kids are in a private school, and they've opted into like full-time virtual learning. And I take my hat off for her because as a mother, I don't know how she runs her daycare and have her kids do virtual learning. Marcus is in the public pre-K, um, and they have full-time right now. Um, but knock on wood, we don't know what's gonna happen, and so far it's fine. I will say it's a pre-K in a private school, so they have one of the private schools that has the approved free for all pre-K. Um, so it's like 6 hours a day, and so far so good. He wears a little school uniform. He's very sweet, but it's a different thing from Europe, right? Denmark just had
Totally different.
was closed for, I'm not sure how long it was closed, but they just opened up in the beginning of February. Patrick,
Yeah.
just here before you
Hmm.
leave us, I see it's just you and me, but we're recording. Now that you, like the rest of us, do not have your busy schedule with tours coming in, groups coming in, families traveling, what have you done to kind of keep the mood going and not going to a full-on depression and close down the business? Do you want to touch upon like what have you done to kind of feel like you're still Patrick running Be New York, sightseeing and tours?
I mean, I commit myself on a daily basis to bring New York to Belgium. It's my duty. I did it before. Okay, that was on like paid. I mean, people paid to go with me on a tour. Now I do everything for free. I have a podcast that I put out there for free. It's in Dutch, unfortunately, so not many of your following would be able to listen to it. I'm working on a fourth book because I think after the pandemic, there needs to be new material out because there's a lot of businesses that disappeared, but there's a lot of new cool things that are happening in New York. I mean, One Vanderbilt is one of them. The High Line that will be extended, the new Penn Station. There are new stores. There's a lot of cool new things happening in New York. So I'm working on that. And yeah, I'm connecting with my customers online. Like actually in 10 minutes, I will do a live on my Instagram page. And there's a lot of people that are already signed up to it and said like, yeah, we cannot wait to be outside with you again. So, I mean, that keeps me going. And we will see. Like, I'm predicting that we will not have business again as before April next year. So it will be at least another year and a few months before we will be working as before again. And in the meantime, we just do our best to keep the spirits alive.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes, yes.
exactly what I was going to ask you, Patrick. Is that last question? You know, do you think, because I get it from the Danish tours, do you think we'll be able to travel to the U.S. this year? And you just answered like this year is pretty much shut. I believe they may open the borders for vaccine tourists,
Yeah.
but I don't think that that we on the receiving end will see much business. We may have a little bit there, but
yeah, here and there. I mean, I'm not counting on it, and I think that's the best way to tackle it. I'm also working on other stuff. I work for a newspaper. I give consultancy to other businesses. I do a lot of other things, but I'm not counting on making money on tourism because if I do that, I'm setting myself up for failure. And if people are coming, let's say in September, October, November, that's a big bonus. And we will be all drinking champagne, just like after the prohibition. It will be one big giant orgy, a party with lots of happy people, especially. And I will be hugging a lot of people as well.
Oh, just that, the hugging, right? It's the weirdest thing. Patrick, I know all your tours, all your live tours is in Dutch, right? You never do any in English. Well,
no. I don't. I mean, that's my like little niche, and it's like New York for Belgians by Belgians. Occasionally, I give tours. I mean, I work together with Tiffany's, the concierge over there. So if they have like some high-end customers that read my book and that want to have a tour, I occasionally do that. But my main markets remains like Belgium, the Netherlands, and France.
But do you get sometimes people ask you if you speak Danish? Because I get it all the time if I speak Dutch. It's always me. Do you speak Dutch? I should be Dutch. You don't get that. Okay.
I don't get it at all.
Patrick,
right.
I will send out the links to your I happen to have some Danish followers that speak Dutch, because you do get out there much more than I do. You know, give your wife a big hug and your kids. They're adorable.
I definitely will.
I will at least share your Instagram because you have a lot of beautiful photos, a lot of daily inspiration from the city. Thank you so much for jumping on the call with me. Be safe.
You're
welcome.
Hope
to see you soon. Okay, Patrick?
Sounds good. Bye. Thanks for the invite. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.